Stay-at-home moms are not in the Bible. Now, this might come as a surprise to you if you've gotten trapped in the conservative trad algorithm on Instagram, but what those men and women are selling is a brand, not a holy commandment from God. Before the Industrial Revolution, both husbands and wives worked together in or near the home. Everyone was a work-from-home, stay-at-home parent. The house was like a mini factory, and both domestic and waged labor was shared by all. When the West finally industrialized, the waged labor left the homestead, it went to the urban factories, and the men had to follow it there. But this is the very first time in history we see this division. But for some reason, the trad folks completely ignore this period in history, and they really hone in on the 1950s. The 50s, which saw the United States holding more than 50% of global manufacturing because our factories were the only ones still standing, which saw a temporary bubble of high wages for non-college educated American men. This post-war period is an idealized myth, remembered mostly through advertising, and it's something we will never see again in our lifetime. That's the history. Here's the theology. Titus 2:5 says that women should be domestically minded, but again, that was written to the homestead factory, so we cannot anachronistically apply this to the modern archetype of sourdough and sundresses. God has given women all kinds of gifts and abilities, and many of them have no domestic application. So for a woman to receive gifts from God and then do nothing with them is literally burying her talents in the sand. Look, I'm not saying that all moms need to go out tomorrow and get a job. I'm also not saying that if somebody has been called to be a stay-at-home mom by God, that they're doing anything wrong. They're doing what God's called them to do, and that's amazing. And I will also cede that if a woman is doing work in the marketplace at the expense of her domestic labor, she has transgressed God's design. But there is a real problem when you idolize a homesteading, stay-at-home lifestyle that's being sold to you by mega influencers who themselves are ironically making a full-time paycheck selling you a lie. And there's a sinful problem when you moralize your lifestyle, your personal choices, to shame or condemn working moms who themselves are only doing what God has called and enabled them to do.